Should I, 21 meters, confront my parents, 51F58 meters, about how much I hated my childhood? This is really tearing me apart. I don't know how to do this. I'm a college graduate, and I'm completely independent. I have a good job, health insurance, etc., and I live far away. If I never spoke to my parents again, I would be fine, but it would probably destroy us both mentally. I was one of 6 children. I grew up in the mountains of North Carolina. My parents are intensely conservative in basically every way, and I was raised that way. Despite everything, I am materially grateful for them. I had to work through college and study in my hated hometown where I had a scholarship, but they did help me with much of the rest of my college expenses, and I'm extremely grateful. I feel this is the thing that has always kept me from reflecting on the past. I don't want to be ungrateful, or bite the hand that fed me. I think my parents really love me. They seem proud of me. But to be honest, I don't like them, at least, not right now. I haven't in a long time, and they don't even know it. I think deep down, I still love them, because I very strongly don't want to hurt them, and this is why I've never opened up about this. Basically, I'm mad at how they raised me. They're borderline evangelical cultists. They had 6 kids way out in the mountains and withdrew us all from modern society. I was homeschooled K-12 and I think that was a massive social handicap to me. My father physically abused me as a kid and felt justified by God in doing it. I won't go into much detail on that, but in hindsight it was not good at all. Being restrained by the hair, strikes to the face and jaw between yelling matches, etc. My science education was replaced with young earth creationism. I was told Harry Potter was a demonic work made to normalize witchcraft, etc. They're insane, but they're so far gone they don't even think they did anything wrong. I was never given any respect. They constantly shamed me for disagreeing with dogmas. They talked over me in every conversation and yelled after the physical abuse stopped. I wasn't allowed to be a person, only a manifestation of their will. I had no privacy. They'd walk in on me all the time with no warning to check on what I was doing. They constantly criticized my hobbies. They even put the home printer right next to my bed and would print things at like 2 AM and wake me up and then get mad at me in the morning for being tired. They pretty much cut off all my social interaction for years and then shamed me for being lonely as a teenager. And when I hid in my room to try to enter another world, they would tell me I was being so mean for not wanting to hang out with the family. I'm not proud of this at all, but at around 16, I made a threat to myself. And my mother's response was, "How dare you do this to me?" and I got locked inside. Never got any treatment at all. I'm better now, by the way, don't worry about me. Now, they're MAGA cult types, spouting wild conspiracy theories. They don't know adult me at all. They act so friendly now over the phone, as if my childhood memories must be peachy. They ask when I'm coming home. But I don't want to. It's full of bad memories! My oldest sister has had a similar coming to experience, and she rocked the boat. She's always been a bit more of an assertive personality type than me. I got to see what happens when a sibling publicly breaks the mold, and my mother is spreading false rumors about her being mentally ill instead of introspecting about whether maybe she should try to make amends. Too long didn't read. My parents seem to love adult me, but I hated my childhood and it has never been confronted, and it makes me not even like them, and I feel a bit like a jerk for feeling that way. I came from an incredibly abusive childhood, raised in poverty. My father's circle of friends were so sketchy. Being asked if anyone had touched me was a common occurrence. It didn't occur to me until a couple of years ago how fucked up that was. I'm almost 50. My father is dead and I was no contact when he died. I decided to confront her about my upbringing when she wouldn't get off my back about why I wasn't mourning my father and why I wouldn't come stay with her in their house. I found no catharsis. She never apologized. Instead, it led me on a journey to understand my parents more. I don't forgive them, but I understand how each of them got to that place. I don't forgive my father, but I don't know how there could be any expectation he'd be a good father given his own upbringing and life experience. I've been back home twice in 15 years. My mom likes to tell people I'll come back for her funeral. I tell them I wouldn't count on that, either. Funerals are for the living. Your experience is yours. Don't feel like a jerk for your feelings. They're unique to your experience and no one else has that perspective. Even your sister has a different and unique experience from yours. You don't owe anyone an explanation for doing what you need to do to keep your mental health in check. Take care of yourself and continue working on being the person you want to be. There's some cognitive dissonance here that is to be expected. A good therapist can help with this. At the end of the day, it's okay to love your parents but not like who they are, or even want to be around them at all. Keep your independence at all costs. Maintain your distance, and find family who you can respect and who respects you. I had to do the same. To be honest, parents like this, speaking from experience of one of my parents, will not acknowledge or validate what you experienced or how you feel, at all. They will not apologize or own their faults. I found confronting my parent about how they hurt me growing up, just made everything worse. There is no accountability, no admission of fault, no sincere apology, just a well sorry if you think that is how it was, I can't remember it at all. Get some therapy of your own. You might feel fine now, but childhood trauma messes with your brain in ways you may not see yet. I was 30 plus before I truly saw that I had stuff to work through. Before that I was convinced I was fine about it. Take care of yourself, continue building your own life, and never feel guilty for not giving them time and attention that they do not deserve. What do you expect to get out of a confrontation? They sound so far gone that if you're hoping for them to admit their faults or anything even close to that, you're going to be disappointed. If you want to get closure on your past and improve yourself more than you have already, you're going to have to find that within yourself. I'd suggest with the help of talk therapy. If you can find a good therapist, you can work out what you want to actually say to them, versus what you may just want to write down and then burn, and what a relationship with them would look like in the future. I think if you try any kind of confrontation before you work through this in therapy, there won't be a good outcome. Have you read Educated, a memoir by Tara Westover? He was raised in a similar family dynamic off the grid, homeschooled by Mormon parents. Her story might help you come to terms with your estrangement from your parents. Yeah, there's a whole movement of people who've escaped the ultra-fundamentalist homeschooling movement. Check out Homeschoolers Anonymous and No Longer Quivering, responding to the Quiverful movement. To op, it might possibly do some good to confront your parents, but I doubt it. You could likely do more good by not completely burning bridges, just so that you can be an escape resource for any younger siblings who haven't made it out yet. I have a boyfriend but I think I want a girlfriend. I have a boyfriend, but I think I want a girlfriend. I 22F am very happy with my boyfriend 26M. When we got together I made it clear that I am pansexual. We agreed to have casual threesomes and he agreed to let me sleep with other women as well. But I think I want our relationship to be polyamorous. That being said, I'm unsure how to have this conversation. I don't want him to think I am unhappy when I'm very happy. Any advice would be appreciated. TL, Doctor, I'm pansexual and think I want to be poly. I'm happy with my relationship with my boyfriend but think I want to be polyamorous. I hope you really think this through, like real deeply. It would be really hard to reverse a situation like this. I know you want to explore, but sometimes the grass isn't greener and then you wish you didn't step into another lawn. Best of luck. Polyamorous people may tell you otherwise, but I have yet to know or hear of anyone who has been in one and the relationship survived. Shit always gets complicated. Relationships that are poly from the start involving experienced poly daters survive. You hear lots of stories of people dating their husband for 15 years and their boyfriend for 8, or whatever. Relationships that are made poly midway through, really unlikely. It's just really unfair. Not that many people are built for polyamory. It requires so much internal work, far more than the average monogamous relationship, and a lot of people don't have the emotional toolbox to handle it. I spent 6 years in a monogamous relationship with someone who eventually realized he was polyamorous, so I have some experience here that might be useful. For us it was a deal breaker and we ended up splitting up over it, but I'm still glad he talked to me about it, because if we had stayed together and he never had the opportunity to explore that, resentment would have grown over time. That wouldn't be good for either of us. For what it's worth, he is now in a happy and loving open relationship. I would advise approaching him to say that you love him and emphasize that being poly doesn't mean you love him any less, but it's something you want to explore. Given your current arrangement, I expect there's a greater than average chance that you can work something out together. Best of luck to you. I think you should post this in r/non-monogamy, as they're people who are in open relationships and can give you better advice about how to go about this rather than trying to make you doubt yourself and your relationship. I agree. Asking mostly monogamous people how to broach the subject of ethical non-monogamy may not yield the best results. Poly relationships work if the people in them are open, honest, and work on whatever issues come up. Just like monogamous relationships work if the couple does, too. Wanting a poly relationship doesn't mean you aren't happy with the person you are with, it just means you could be happy with several people. Boyfriend, there is something really difficult I need to tell you. First of all, you need to know that I love you and love being in a relationship with you. It's just that I've realized that I'm not entirely fulfilled, and it has nothing to do with you or things you could do better. What I've realized is that I am polyamorous. That means that I am just not satisfied with the occasional threesome, but I need actual multiple relationships to be fulfilled and happy. Is this something you could see work out for you, or is that a deal breaker? My boyfriend loves our cat more than he loves me. Too long didn't read. Boyfriend doesn't show affection anymore, and we barely have sex either, prefers porn, however he doesn't fail to spoil the cat with affection. I'm 20F, he's 20 meters. We've been together for 4.5 years now. I should probably note that I spent the majority of my childhood being neglected both at home. One parent was/is still an alcoholic, the other was at work constantly, and at school, bullied/excluded both by teachers and peers badly all the way through, so I wasn't given nearly the right amount of love or attention that I should have been. So, now, as an adult, love, attention, and affection are extra important to me. Anyway, to begin, the 2 past years in our relationship has been, well, a disappointment to say the least. He's been very distant. He never shows affection anymore. No more kisses, no more hugs or cuddles, no more tickling or joking around. No more back rubs or head scratches. God, I miss those. Haven't had that in a couple years now. He'll claim to be too tired, which would be fair enough, but then he goes on to do all of that but to our cat instead. A lot. So clearly he did have the energy but didn't want to be affectionate with me. It's always like this, literally daily. NSFW below. I can't remember when he last initiated any affection like a hug, kiss, etc. outside of our one fuck a month. Yes, we only have sex about once a month. He prefers porn, and even when I say I'm up for it, I basically always am. He refuses, but then in the same hour I could catch him masturbating to porn, even if I'm in the same bed as him. It's so sad because I'm always up for his fetishes and would get so excited to do them back when our sex life was still alive. We used to fuck like rabbits basically. Oh, and he was so much more affectionate. He didn't even give me foot massages when he was unemployed and I was working full-time in a job that required running around for hours. I would walk home literally limping and had nerve damage in my toes that took a few months to fully recover after I switched to a less intense job. Not to mention the toll it took on my back from all the heavy lifting. I have chronic back pain. Again, even during this point, he didn't care about relieving this pain of mine even though he himself was at home all day, and was giving the cat affection. I remember asking once, why does she get affection and I don't? I am always made to feel stupid about it. Because she's cute. Oh, haha, don't tell me you're jealous of a cat. Oof, that hurt. I already thought I was ugly and undesirable enough. Anyway, yes. It's sad. I am officially jealous of a cat. Is it normal for me to be insecure about this?